with your girl, Sandra the Actionist, and this is the platform of Girls with Gigs, where we support women. I am one of the hosts here, as you all know. Girls with Gigs is a podcast, not just for me, but for everyone that's actually on this platform. So this isn't just my platform, as I've told you guys a million times. This is all of the women that's on this platform. It's all of ours. We're sharing this thing. So I'm your girl, Sandra the Actionist with Inspire for Purpose, where we equip, empower, and execute women into action. It's all about life coaching. It's about lifting people up. It's about supporting people, just like Girls with Gigs on this platform that we're doing. And so I am your host, Sandra the Actionist, like I said, woo, woo, woo. And we also have Mrs. Akuwat. Go ahead and announce yourself, girl.
Hey everyone, my name is Akuwat of Akuwat Online Business Services. It's nice to be here with you.
Awesome. So Akuwat is like an amazing young lady. We actually met on Facebook. We were in this, we are in this group called the Suspreneurs, giving Suspreneurs a shout out, woo woo, because that's what we do. We support each other. And so as we began to start talking, one of my friends had actually posted something. She said, anybody want to learn how to do a podcast or something like that? And women just rogered up, and it was so amazing. And that's where Girls with Gigs, it was kind of birthed from that almost, And so as I was talking with Akuwat, we were on, because y'all look, Akuwat is international, okay? Let me just put that out there. She is international, all right? So we're doing it big up here. Even right now, she's actually in Canada. Yes, she is in Canada. So this is so amazing. So Akuwat, let's get into it. Let's talk about Akuwat Online Business Services. Let's talk about like how you got started, all the things that you do, because this is your show, honey. So just tell us about everything.
Thank you. It's a long story, so I won't spend too much time in the beginning here. So I started freelancing last year in May. Seriously, that's when I started to do it. I only got into it because I got married to a man from Zimbabwe at the end of 2019. And so after we got married, I left everything in Canada and I moved there to be with him. Just because the process for immigration was going to be ridiculously long. So I just moved to be with my husband until he can come home. So while I was there, I wasn't working. I had been on Upwork for quite a few years, but I just hadn't done it seriously. So with the pandemic and everything, I started to feel like I needed to do something. Like being a stay-at-home wife in Africa is a bit hard. So I started to take Upwork seriously, and I started applying to different proposals. I built my profile and I listed 3 different profiles for 3 different areas of experience of things that I had. So one was data entry, another one was customer service. And I can't remember what the third one was, but I built my profile and I started to apply to jobs specifically for those things. So then I did that for about 3 months. I applied to over 140 different proposals and I heard nothing.
Wow, 140? Wow, that's some perseverance right there. Okay, we might have some perseverance, y'all, because I know sometimes people after 2, 3, 4, 5 tries, they're like, I'm done. This ain't for me. They, it ain't in the cards. But 140, that's amazing.
Yeah,
wow.
So like, because things aren't easy in Zimbabwe because of like the political issues and how people make money and things like that. It's just not easy for people. So a lot of the things in the country, such as Wi-Fi, is super expensive to have there. Wow. So me and my husband finally decided to have Wi-Fi at home, and I had a laptop. So I was like, you know what? I have these 2 things and I'm going to make something out of them. That's all I did. That's all I had my mind on the entire time. I'm going to make something out of this. So I just never gave up for that reason, because we were paying for Wi-Fi every single month, and just surfing the internet and watching Netflix, that's a bit of a waste of time, right? Like,
it's more to that, right? It's more to Netflix and chill,
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot more out there. So that was my motivation, basically, was like I was putting money into something, but I wasn't utilizing it to the best of my ability. So that's my main reason for to keep on trying at that point. And then I got my first client. Actually, I got 2 clients in one day.
Wow.
Finally.
Double for your trouble. That's what's up. Woo woo.
Yeah, exactly. So one client was for e-commerce. I had learned in the process of applying for all these jobs, I was also starting to, learn things on the internet that I could possibly use to apply to these specific jobs on Upwork. So one of the things that I learned was to build an e-commerce store from scratch by myself on Shopify and to start selling things and to do Facebook ads and everything. So I had learned that as well. So I adjusted my profile to that, and that was what attracted one of my clients. And then another client, I attracted them because of my customer service experience. So I did my first job. It went amazing. The client loved my work. He gave me a bonus for the work that I had done. And he's like, I'm coming back if I need your help for anything else. So that was great. My second client was amazing. Like she's still my client till this day. She also I started out as just customer service for her, but now I'm in project management for her businesses. She's a restaurateur. She owns 5 restaurants. And I do project management and business development right now for her.
Wow. Impressive. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, this young lady, my hat's like blown off. Okay. It's just amazing because there's so many things. I mean, I know we're talking about your business and stuff like that. And, and even you doing this podcast, because, you said that's something that you had always wanted to do. And you're just stepping out in faith and you're like making it happen. We're reaching across borders and boundaries, to connect. And, you're even here, you're on travel, right now. And I just literally got back, like a couple hours ago. And I said, this is what boss women do. This is what bosses do. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? I was telling Akuwat before we even got on to do the show, I was like, girl, I am so sleepy, But I was like, you get your hair done, you just, hey, you show up because that's what it takes, the perseverance. The fact that it was so many times that you had to keep applying, like on, and you didn't give up. You kept pushing and pressing. And now look at where you're at. And even like your first 2 experiences that you had with your first 2 customer base, I think that's like awesome that it was such a really, really good experience. And you have like a recurring client, like you built a relationship with this woman, and now you're doing other things within the business. I'm just flabbergasted. I ain't got nothing to say.
Thank you.
That is so good. That is so awesome.
I really felt like I mean, I'm a strong believer, so I really felt like God also had a lot of things to do with the progress that I've made here, because oftentimes, like what is it called? Like you have to act according to your prayers, right? So like you can pray all you want, but if your actions are not following through, you won't see the results from it, right? And you can have as much pressure from the outside as there could be, but the only thing that that will get you through it is for sure just to have faith and to keep going, you'll see the results.
You did that, honey. You kept going and going. I'm probably like, I'm so tired. This is like 100 times, really?
Yeah.
I think was it Thomas Edison or Albert Einstein who they tried something like 1 million times until they got it right or something. I don't know who it was, but you guys got to go and Google that for yourselves. But they didn't stop. Basically, it was just a perseverance. And like you're saying, you're pairing your faith with your actions, because people think it's just gonna fall out of the sky and it's just gonna fall into your lap and it's gonna happen. It's like, no, you got to put that faith in action. And I love that. I love that you're a faith-based woman. I love that. I'm a Christian. I love God, Jesus Christ. I love him. And so too, I put my faith in action and, see, and here we are doing this podcast. This was a faith walk, even for myself with Inspire for Purpose. But I'm so glad to see that you were really blossoming within your business and everything. Now you said something about it being kind of hard for women in Zimbabwe, was it?
Yeah. It is really hard for women. And the most wonderful thing about, I think Zimbabwe, of all the countries I've ever been to, I feel had the most entrepreneurs. Like people sell anything to make the money that they need to make for their families, which is really inspiring because, in some parts of the world, a lot of people who have a lot offered to them don't necessarily always take advantage of the things that are offered to them. But to live in a place like Zimbabwe or almost anywhere in Africa where like you see like like as you're driving, you know, there's kids with the parents just sitting on the side of the road, but the kids are like walking in between traffic, you know, with paper, like Kleenex boxes or just peanut butter, you know, just selling it on the street to people. So like that also motivated me because I'm like, I come from a privileged place like Canada, and I'm in Africa, and like, I mean, being a wife and being a stay-at-home like wife, it's a lot of work as well. But like, it's just my entire life I've always worked, so that was kind of hard for me just to sit there and do absolutely nothing. I started to really feel. I always say I started to feel stupid, but because I wasn't using my brain. But finally, when I started to use my brain and like learn more things, it just helped me to develop like my own self and to have more and more ambition to do more and more things.
That's awesome. You know, we have that in common. I'm a stay-at-home mom too for many years. And maybe some of you guys out there know, maybe I've said it on one of my other shows, but I was in the military for 20 years. And so working since I've been 15, you know, as a teenager, you get that little job, you know, at the mall or a fast food restaurant, you know, and I did that and I loved it and it was cool. And then, you know, you transition on, and then I did college and then the military and all that. So it was really awesome to work, you know, like, it was good, you know. Sometimes, you know, I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I would just be a stay-at-home woman. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be amazing.
I just want to be a stay-at-home woman, but I want to be kept, right? So
yeah,
working, I get what you're saying, because my purpose and my calling in that is completely different. And I believe that family is the most important, but you also have that professional side. You know, you want to keep working and going and doing and providing, because that's what, you know, you've done so many years. And so for me too, it was really hard to kind of just pull back and just let me just focus on the family. And I felt like, yeah, we were using our brains, right, but not to maybe to like its fullest capacity, maybe, or maybe even sometimes I question, maybe I'm using it to its greatest capacity, because dealing with a husband and children, girl, these kids are running rampant. You know, it's like a lot. So I totally get what you're saying about that, just kind of just at home, and sometimes your brain just kind of, it's like it's shut off in some areas, you know, when it comes to entrepreneurship. And you're doing entrepreneurship, so you're working for yourself, so that's like a whole nother, you know, ball game. What is that like for you, just being a whole entrepreneur after, like, because you were like in the, I guess, corporate Canada, what do they call it there? The corporate world.
I think corporate Canada,
yeah. So what is that even like, from the transition from that to now this being your own boss?
It's so hard. I can tell you, like, it's so hard. Like, I didn't really plan for myself to be here. I've never considered owning a business before. I've never considered anything to do with like working for myself or doing something for myself to build my own family legacy or anything like that. My dad, because like we're Sudanese, like I'm South Sudanese. So we actually moved to Canada like 22 years ago. We moved to Canada. So like my dad, he's always like mentioned to me, like, you guys should start a business, like telling us kids, like, you should do this or you should do that for business and everything. But I was always comfortable. I've never had to, like, our family anyways, we've never struggled as much as other Sudanese families or other families that have moved to Canada or the US. Like, we haven't had to live in government housing for too long, because my parents, like, I mean, I'm sure all the parents also work really hard, but like my parents, like when we moved here to Canada, they couldn't speak English properly. My parents, they both went to college again once we moved here to Canada. My mom became a nurse, and my dad, he also became a nurse actually for a few years as well. And to see them do that in like their 40s and 60s was like, it's encouraging to me. So that kind of, I think, also burns the fire in me that like, my parents are doing it, or my parents did it at such an older age. So like that, I think, helps me to keep going in my pursuit of being an entrepreneur, being a great entrepreneur, and learning more and more things that can help me to continue building that foundation so that I can, you know, I can keep building on it.
That is awesome. Now, I wanted to ask you because we were chatting earlier before we got on the show. We was, got some behind the show, before the show, all of that, right? But we were chatting, and she was talking about support, and I was telling her that Can a Girl Catch a Break Chic Boutique, who was on another podcast, we were talking about what support looks like, and she mentioned that as well. Akuwat did, and so I wanted to ask you, like, what does support look like to you?
So when I was actually starting this out last year, like my husband is Zimbabwean, he's African. He's never been to the Western side world. The whole world of working online, having Instagram, doing, talks or like this all stuff, like it's new to him. He doesn't understand it at all, like at all. So like, I mean, and I also myself, to be honest, when I was starting, I don't think I even understood it all myself either. I was educating myself basically as I was going. So like, as I started to be in this space a lot more, I was starting to get exposed to other women who are also in the same journey as I am. And what I always heard was women expressing how they didn't feel supported from their spouses or their families or their friends, which can be true. It's very hard to get support. But the way I look at it now, after reflecting on it all, is, for me anyways, I feel like it's not that they don't want to support you or they're not supportive. I just feel that they don't understand.
Yeah.
You don't understand. So for you, like from what I did with my husband was any decision I was making or any thoughts I was having, I would always communicate those with him. Even though I knew he wouldn't understand everything that I was saying or doing, I still communicated everything with him. And I think through that, it helped him to better understand what I was doing, what I'm trying to do. And even like with his friends or other family members that would ask like what I'm doing and stuff like that, although he couldn't explain fully also what I'm doing, but he can still like, yeah, she works online. She does this, like whatever, right? So like for me, it's just consistently now for me, I'm like, well, my husband probably doesn't understand it, or my friends probably don't understand it. So that doesn't mean that they don't support me. They do want to support me because they're like, what do you do again? Or like, what are you doing? Like, what is this? And so then they're trying to understand, right? They want to understand. And once they understand, the support will come.
Yeah.
So,
that's a good point. Yeah. That's a good point. Trying to understand it, because I think on the other show, Nadine Barton, she's the owner of that Can a Girl Catch a Break Chic Boutique, and she goes, I don't think we have to ask for support. And I was sharing that with you, and I was like, well, I disagree. I think that we do have to ask for support, but you bring another face to the whole support game about the understanding part. And I think that now that you're saying that, like my mind is like, I'm having that aha moment. And it's like, yeah, once people can understand what it is that you do, they might kind of roger up and say, well, how can I help? Or, whatever it is, even in them really trying to understand, what it is that we do in this whole online world of technology and all this stuff, that our world has totally just taken off with. That is a form of support. So I like that you brought that other, piece to it. That's really awesome. Yeah, that whole understanding piece. Phenomenal.
Yeah. Because, it stops people, right? Like this can stop people from starting or even progressing to bigger and better things for themselves. So I think like not focusing so much on like, woe is me. No, like, yes, you can have those moments of woe is me and like, nobody's supporting me and all that stuff. But then look at the facts. The facts of the matter is they probably don't understand you. They probably don't understand what you do. So why not tell them? And just being like telling them to follow you on Instagram or telling them to follow you on Facebook, sure, that's good, but also that doesn't really, that's not enough for them to know what you do. Like having a one-on-one conversation with them, telling them, or if they ask you or something, that having a one-on-one conversation with them, yeah. So you tell them, like, I work on this website, it's made for this, and I apply to these kind of jobs, and I have these kind of clients, and this is the kind of software or something that I use for the clients and everything like that. And then now they have this knowledge of what you do. And if they come across in their world of people who are doing what you do, it's easier for them to admit, oh, I have a friend that actually does this too.
Right, exactly. You said something key there, and I want to dig into that because you were talking about, sometimes it prevents people from starting, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that because you said that you were kind of nervous about getting started and stuff, and but somehow you kind of mustered up the courage to move forward. What can you share, like with your people here on your platform, like to just start somewhere or whatever, like what's the advice that a plot can give to these guys, to these ladies, and also these men, because I know people are going to be listening everywhere, so
Yeah, no, like now that I'm here, I've gotten to where I've gone to, I want to help other people also do this, because I know it's possible, and that another person's journey may not be the same as mine at all, but I know that with like with motivation and with support, and with a little bit of guidance as well, anyone can do this. Literally anyone. And when I say anyone, just in between this time here that we've been in contact with each other, and from like the last time that I was talking to you, and I think I even told you then that, yeah, I want to help other people also to do this, right? So I think there was in Suspreneurs, actually, another girl, after I made a comment about being a freelancer, she's like, how do you do that? Or like, what do you do? So then now we started to talk together on the side, and I was like, you know what? I'll help you for free. I'll give you my time. I'll walk you through. I'll give you everything you need to know to start and to do this. You just have to actually try. That was my only stipulation with her, was that you just have to do the work, and I will give you all my knowledge and everything you need. And I did. I hopped on a call with her, and she's consistently messaging me, asking me questions about, like, because she's on Upwork also now. So she created her profile on Upwork. She followed all my instructions on how to build a profile and everything, and she got a contract in like 15 days. Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, it took me 3 months and 140 applications.
Wow.
So I'm like, so this is for me, like, I think where, like, what I want to do, and I want to help people to have that support as well, to know that they can do it, and to provide them with all the tools. And honestly, yes, it's about money, and yes, I want to support my family and my friends or whatever, but like I have so much more joy knowing that this single mom who wanted extra income on the side has now like, she now has enough tools to do this.
That's awesome. That is that's what it's about. Even the fact, because it's time is money, and time is way more valuable than money. You know what I'm saying? You can't get back your time. And so the fact that you're just, from the kindness of your own heart, to give back to this young lady, like that's beautiful. That's what it's about. Yeah, you did say that. And look at you, you're already doing it. And then she got a contract. So what you've done, the work that you put in, everything that you had to go around the road a few times. But with this lady, in the 15 days, you know what I'm saying? So your system works. Your system works. Are you like doing online classes or anything? Like, do you have anything like that to teach people about how to get started in the world of freelance and everything that you do?
Yeah. So I just created a short little like masterclass type thing of how to get started on Upwork and everything you need to know about do it, like from your profile, how to apply, how to properly build your profile, everything. I did that, and it's on my profile on Instagram at Akuwat Online, and anyone can watch it. It's free.
Nice. That is awesome. That's what I'm talking about, yo. You see here on Girls with Gig, this platform, we're about supporting each other. And so you guys can definitely check out Akuwat on those platforms and get this information that she's given to you guys for free. I like $3.99, okay? The Dollar Tree. We have a store called the Dollar Tree. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but it's called the Dollar Tree. And I love the Dollar Tree. And depending on where you live, on what side of town or whatever, you can get really nice Dollar Trees with really cool stuff. And then some of the other ones, it's kind of sketch. I don't know. Let's just be real. But I went in there to go, okay, I'm going to get this. And I was putting stuff in my basket. And I was like, the lady gave me the price, and I said, this is not adding up. Like, everything is $1. Like, the tax, and I'm like, but it's no longer a Dollar Tree, y'all. Did you know that? It's no longer, it's dollar plus. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, are you kidding me? No, no, because like, you know, all of those groups on Facebook and stuff, it's good because it's a good place to market your business 100%. But I feel like people are too quick to ask for money. So I, like, for me anyways, I'm like, yes, of course, like, give me your money if you want to give me your money. But, you know, like, but I don't want that also to stop somebody from even considering starting. So I just feel that, like, if I can make myself a little bit more available to people, and so that, like, they can have the help that they need to also start, that would make me, I think, a little bit more happier than having money in my hands, you know?
Wow. So I know you got the video that you said you're going to do, but on the show now, can you tell us, like, what are some of the tips, you know, that we should, if someone's like looking to go into freelance and any kind of genre of freelance, what are some like key things to kind of look for? What are some key things to kind of stay away from? Have you tried any other platforms? Did they work out? Were they not as good as Upworks? Or like, what are your thoughts on that?
So I chose Upwork because it's better, like, for you to price your services. It's a lot better. If you go to Fiverr is great, but like the way that Fiverr was built, I believe from what I heard before, was that it was built more for $5 gigs. So if you are offering services and you know that you should actually be getting paid like $30-$40 for those services, I feel it's not a good place for you to start anyways. But on Upwork, although it might take, actually they probably take the same amount of time to get clients on it, but on Upwork, at least you have control over how much you want to charge for your services. Okay. And a lot of people oftentimes get put off by Upwork because they feel that most of the jobs are posted for $3 to $5 an hour. Like, that's what they're looking for usually, people that post jobs on there, which is true. But what people don't often understand is that those gigs are usually targeted to only certain parts of the world. It's not targeted for people that are in the US or in Canada to apply to those jobs. It's targeted for other parts of the world. Okay. I don't agree with it also, because that's ridiculous. Nobody can live off of $3 or $5 an hour wage, but that's not, like, that doesn't have to be where you stop just because of that thought. You can make your profile, you can start at $20 an hour, you can start at $30 an hour, whatever it is that you feel you are worth for what you're going to provide. And then once you apply to proposals, because you do also have to get something called connects on there. When you start to apply to proposals, be picky, or like make sure that what you are going to apply to, it's something that you know for sure 100% you can deliver, and maybe even over deliver.
That's a good point. Over deliver, because people like when you over deliver. That's me. That's just been in me, I think, from just growing up. You know, my mom has always been like, you know, give your best, you know, 100%. She said always give like 110%, you know, 100 plus. And so I always try to anticipate the need to be proactive, to take the initiative. And so give them what they're asking for, but then like say, hey, maybe you didn't think about this, and then you give them a little extra. You know what I'm saying? We can you know?
Yes, exactly. And like, you just always have to keep in mind, like, what you do for your first client, second client, third client, whatever, it's always like, it's like another step to you getting a better client, or another step for you to be able to improve your profile to a higher rate per hour. So I think that's very important. And then also to have your entire profile filled out. And something I heard recently was to have your job history section filled with your accomplishments, not what you did at the job, but your accomplishments. Like, you know, like, I helped 25 customers per day to do XYZ, you know, or we went from 4.5% review to 5.5% review on X like platform or whatever it is.
A cause and like the effect of that cause, or like a result. You know what I'm saying? I did this.
Exactly.
Yeah, a result. Okay, gotcha. That's all. You know, in the military, we did something that's called evaluations, and on our evaluations, it was like, you know, have a result. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever you did, and like I saved so many dollars or whatever. Or I saved so many lives because I was in medicine. We saved so many lives or whatever. So that's really, really good. Do you see that a lot on that platform, that people are doing that, or not so much? Is that one of the things that they don't really kind of tell you? It's just something that you've had to kind of learn over the course of being on this Upwork?
I had to learn that. And I also like sometimes I scroll on TikTok because, you know, resume TikTok, I think, or something like that. Like sometimes you get good tips off of resume TikTok as well on like how to structure your applications and things like that. So I think I've learned that also from TikTok and those some creators that are also freelancers. They'll also give you these kind of advice and stuff like that. But that's where I've gotten most of my tricks and stuff to be able to, you know, mold myself. But I've also like now I can say I've learned enough to know, you know, how to do certain things on the platform that can help you to get noticed a bit more by your ideal clients.
What are some of the pitfalls, I guess, to kind of stay away from when you're out searching for these, you know, these companies like Upworks and Fiverr and all these things? What are some things to kind of stay away from?
Well, the problem is, okay, so freelancing, it's a great thing. And I believe that most companies in the near future will move towards freelancing more. So I feel like if you want to start, this is the perfect time to start. But with being on these specific platforms and looking for work on them, you really want to be careful that you do not get banned or you do not get kicked off the platform. And that can happen so easily because sometimes with those clients that are looking for cheap help, they will sometimes try to take you outside of the platform to do the work for them. And if you do that, sometimes you either don't get paid at all for the work that you do, or you do get kicked off the platform by Upwork. So what I would suggest is, like when you're applying for these jobs and somebody asks you to do an interview, which sometimes, yes, it does require you to leave the platform to go to maybe Skype to do the interview. That's fine. Take the interview, do it. But just always make sure that once they are ready to start the work, all communication happens on Upwork, and that it does that like they start the contract as well on Upwork, and before you start anything. And especially if they have chosen you as the freelancer, you have a bit more leverage to be like, okay, like, you know, start the contract so that I can do the work for you. You can say that to them. It's not something that you have to be shy about because they've chosen you now. So they've already pre-qualified you enough to know that they want to work with you. So you have to make sure that you do that for sure.
Now, have you had some, you know, clients that weren't so nice or amazing? I'm sure you have. And how do you handle those situations? Because this is real talk. Because for people that are out there, you know, we're talking about freelance today, people that are out there wanting to get into the field and this and that, and like, you know, being a novice, like, you know, you knew like your work prior to your experience, you had the experience, so you know how to do the job, but now you're doing it for yourself. So being able to cater, you know, to different people, you know, because you got to get the business in, and you got to, your clients are they're your bosses, right? They really truly are. And so they dictate a lot of things. So how, listen, you know, talking to other, you know, beginning or aspiring freelancers, like, how do you handle those tough clients that, you know, want to kind of take you outside of the rules and the regs of how Upwork has kind of set things up, or, you know, not paying you for a service? You just had a really crappy client. Let's just keep the language real. You had a crappy client. How did you handle it?
Personally, I have yet to experience a terrible client. I've had some really good ones, but like the only problem I would say, or situation that's ever happened that wasn't so pleasant, was just like when a client, they asked me to do something for them and it wasn't done, I guess, to the way that they expected it to be done. And then when I went to ask for instructions again to make sure of the work that they had requested, because they hadn't written it down, they just said it verbally. And I usually like to get things written down because it's so much better. And there's no mistakes usually when things are written down, but this client, it was all verbally. And so once I went back to him again to ask him for these instructions, he was like, I thought we talked about this. And I'm like, thank you. Like, that's okay. Just like tell me again, like, you know, exactly what you need done. And this time it was in written form. It wasn't verbally. And then it was fine. Like nothing else happened after that. It was great. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I haven't had any terrible clients.
Your fingers crossed that doesn't happen.
I know. I know.
Doesn't happen. Yeah. It's, I know like for me, I can go into a situation and I'm a streamliner. Like I like make processes a lot easier. I see what all the fat is, and a lot of organizations want to get rid of the fat because the fat's cost the money, so they want to trim it down to the lean. And so that's like a whole lean Six Sigma kind of thing and all of that. And I like going in and seeing those processes of how that stuff kind of works. But then when you're working for yourself, you try to, self-evaluate, and it's hard, right? To try to, look from the outside, looking within, and then even asking family members or friends or whomever, like, hey, I mean, you get your ratings and your reviews. They're like, okay, yeah, they say I'm doing good, but am I really? What more can I be doing? What do you do for yourself? To kind of just self-reflect, to say, okay, am I giving the best product that I possibly can give, to this client? Is there anything else that I can do? Have I dropped the ball on something? Like, what's your process? How do you do that whole self-talk to get yourself, from where you're at? Because I know you want to continue to soar upward, to go ahead and climb, those steps to get there.
You're just like following all my notes that I wrote out for what I want to say. Thank you. We are. This is like my most favorite subject to talk about, self-development and improvement and things. I love that. I love that. So one of my long-term clients that I have, like we quickly clicked, like we're even the same it's the personality test, right? We're the same person, we're the same exact Myers-Briggs personality also. Nice. So like we totally like bonded and everything on that. So she understands me and I understand her for the most part, and I think she understands me for the most part anyways. But I love asking for feedback on what I've done in the last, like, I don't know, month, 2 months, 3 months. And I always like try my best to make sure that I mention that either weekly or bi-weekly or monthly, whatever. Like, let me know if there's anything that, I need to do better, or if there's something that I didn't do correctly, or if my understanding is not right, like, please do let me know so that I can change. And I truly believe that like opening yourself up to criticism, constructive criticism, it's really good for you. It's really good for you. Like you cannot become better if you do not know what needs to be improved.
That's true.
Right now.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Okay. And you cannot even move forward and do more and more things, because sometimes maybe it's a limiting belief that you have, and maybe somebody else sees that, but you don't see that in yourself. So just like those little things, asking other people, especially even your clients, because those are the ones that are at the receiving end of what you're doing. It's usually the best. I think the best thing to do.
I like what you said about those self-limiting beliefs, because I'm going to be doing a conference coming up in March, and it's a Christian business network. The thing is Pink Business Network, and so it's a platform to where you publish books, you start businesses, you do a whole bunch of stuff, right? So, but on this platform, I'm going to be the keynote speaker. I'm super excited about it. I'm like, yes, but I don't want to be like the typical, just like motivational, you know what I'm saying? Because motivation leads, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day. And I always pray to God, I say, God, I want to influence people. I want to be that little voice in their head saying, you know what, Cece said to do this, and I want to nag them, you know what I'm saying? Get it done. And so being able to dismiss, not even dismiss, to totally eradicate those self-limiting beliefs. And sometimes people don't even know that they have them, you know what I'm saying? So I do this exercise, it's called the blind spot, and you can just Google the blind spot and you can go online and do the test for yourself. But we all have a blind spot, right? Literally, we have a blind spot. But sometimes in that self-limited, thinking that we have, that's a blind spot too. And until you have that constructive criticism that you're talking about, and I don't even like to say criticism, feedback, whatever, which is a better word, you can then see, where the rubber meets the road. And get in the right lane and get moving and say, okay, well, I didn't see that, but now since you said it like that, okay, I see where I've been kind of dropping the ball. So that, I love that. I love self-development. Even this, on these shows, talking it out, because as we're chatting, it's just girls, you know what I'm saying, on here, so many new things come to light. And I'm just so glad that you mentioned that. It's all about self-development. And not only that, because even in your self-development, had you not done self-development and doing those checks down the road, you wouldn't have been able to reach back to the lady that you helped, you mentored completely for free. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And helped her get along. And then that she can just call you up and say, hey girl, I'm
Yeah.
going to you. How do I do this? And then you take the time and you show her that, like, bravo to Akuwat. Bravo.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love it.
No, like I honestly, like, I'm so thankful, especially even like for my long-term client that I've had now for almost, well, one of my first clients that I've now had all the way till now. She's also very much into being like self-development and being self-aware and things like that. So I think in her own space, she's very aware of like how to manage people, how to manage teams. So I think also she helped me because for me, some of the things that she would ask me to do are things that I've never done before. Like never.
Give us an example. Like what?
Okay. Well, okay, so I learned how to, like, I built a WordPress website for her blog, for example. Like I did that. I have never, ever built a website before, like ever. Like, I mean, yes, I did Shopify, but that was like, that was before that, but I had never, ever built a website and it's like functioning and it's running and like,
it's functioning.
Yeah, like it's actually working. Like it's actually working. So like for me, like that was something that I can tell you, I had never, like, I'm speechless saying it because I literally had never thought that I can do something like that. But for one thing is, she believed I could. She believed I could, yes. Right? And then when she believed that I could, then I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to do it. Like, yeah, like I guess I'm going to do it. So I did it. And like, I mean, I don't think it took me that long, maybe about a month or so of doing it. But just like having her as a client of mine, but also like now it just feels like she's even like my personal like pocket cheerleader. I feel like, like she'll just give me the way that our relationship with working is like, she'll like she sees, sometimes she sees things in me anyways that I don't see or that I don't think I can
blind spot.
Yeah, exactly. So that's helped me to like, especially those limiting beliefs when they come in, like you can't do that, or like that's not something that you're gonna be able to do, or that's a little too hard. Are you sure you can do it? Like those thoughts don't come as easily anymore to me when she gives me something like that to do.
Wow.
I just do it.
You can do it. That's right. You can do it. I can do it. And you out there too. You can do it. And you can do it. And you can do it.
Exactly.
Man, that's awesome, because you talk about belief and, just this client, she's not family, she's not friend. I mean, now maybe you guys have kind of developed a friendship, over time, as the client, a professional relationship, but just having this stranger, believing in you. And then you start thinking like, well, maybe I can do this thing. And then you actually did it.
Yeah.
So having somebody believe in you, that is just, I love that. I want to say right now, just for the Inspire for Purpose team, okay? I know Akuwat in the business service, she gonna tell y'all too, she already pumping y'all up. But for the Inspire for Purpose people out there, I believe in you. Look, Akuwat believes in you. I believe in you. We all believe in you. So if no one has ever been on your team to support you, to be your cheerleader, we are here cheering you on, pumping you up, pushing you forward, saying you can do it. Just put your mind to it, And if you need some help, then reach out, to people that's in your circle. Reach out to us, you know what I'm saying? If we don't have the answer, we'll be more than happy to find the answer. I just put you on the spot right now.
No problem. Come to me.
We'll get it done. We will get it done. I love that. I love that about the belief. Man, you just like so awesome. Is there anything else we need to know about Akuwat Business Services? Because you do a lot. Like what is like, I mean, I know it's freelance, but I know you said data processing and like, what is everything? Because it's a lot.
So what I like right now, what I'm mainly focusing on, so I have this one client who's full-time for her, but on the side, I also do take clients on for building their teams on project management softwares. So like building a system for them on, for example, Monday.com, Asana, Trello, ClickUp, all those kind of softwares and stuff like that, setting your teams up on those systems is what I'm doing right now on the side. But I do also know how to now build a WordPress website, build a Shopify website for you and your business. I do know a little bit about Facebook ads, but I did actually just start an agency on Upwork to kind of help me serve more people. Because I can't, like now with my schedule, I just can't take as many clients on myself, but I do have team members now on my team, in my agency, that can help me to help more people. So I'm very hands-on, but they just do some of the work for me.
Nice. Well, how do you even go about setting up your agency? Because I think that's really cool. Like getting those people to be on your team. Because I'm assuming so. Now this is me kind of out of my, totally not in my niche, but I'm assuming so. Like other people that's on these networks, the Upworks, Fiverr, whatever it is, that you guys use each other, like to assist each other. Is that true or false? Like, how does that all work?
So this is just my agency. So I have hired people on to work for me, so they can do their own thing still on the platform and help other clients if they want to. But I've just hired them to be in my agency. So if I do get a client for the agency, then I just assign to one of them to, okay, like you have this project to do for this client type thing. But like, you know, what motivated me to even be able to start it is because on Upwork, they have certain tiers for freelancers. So when you start, they title you as a rising talent, and then you go to top rated freelancer, and then the next level is top rated plus freelancer, and then the last one is a vetted freelancer. So because of what I've done now on Upwork, I have reached the top rated plus freelancer status. So it just kind of motivated me more to start this, because now I do have a great profile and I do have enough trust with clients when they see those badges on my profile, that I can provide more work for them. So I do get invites or contracts weekly, maybe 2 or 3 weekly, but I don't always take them on. So this is why I started the agency, and I looked for other freelancers who are also either top rated or top rated plus to be in my agency to be able to help those clients.
Nice. Are there any, because I know, like, you know, at times it's just being you once, you know, you're just kind of doing everything, but are there just some clients that you just don't take on at all? Are there any like red flags, you know, like for people that are out there like, hey, you might not want to deal with this client or whatever? Because I think I'm one of those clients. I'm probably one of those clients you wouldn't take, because I'm so picky. Oh my gosh. Because like I may have an idea, and then when they start designing something, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of good, but you know, and I'll change it. And it's frustrating for them. I know they're like, this lady's driving me nuts. But it's frustrating for me too. Like, you gotta understand my pain. I'm just not clear yet, because it has to be like every little intricate, you know, piece. And so, I mean, are there just some people that you kind of stay away from? What I've been doing, I'm telling all the people out there in the tech world, okay, when I go on to do an order for something that I may need, that I don't have services for, or the skill set to do, I literally tell them the truth. I said, look, sometimes I could be a difficult client. Not that I want to be, but just because I'm not clear on the concept. So do you want to work with me? Like, there's no time constraint on my part. But I know sometimes, like on some of those platforms, you have the time, you know, there's a time thing. And I'm like, no time constraint for me. But if you want to try to work with me, I'm happy. I would love to work with you. I like your work. I like what I see. But just know that. And I think, like, and I did reach out here to a few people, and a couple of people said, no, child, anybody got time for you? Anybody working with you?
Oh my goodness.
One guy did come back and he said, yeah, let's work together and we'll see and stuff. And I was just like, I'm not kind of clear on this concept, but I need your help. So yeah, do you do that?
Okay, so like I'm very picky now with who I like, what proposals I apply to. But sometimes I do get those offers from clients who are very picky. And I do love picky clients, because at least you know what you want and you will communicate that with me, what you want, because some clients will just come to you and say, hey, I don't know what I'm doing, but this is what I want. And it's like they don't even know if this is possible. They don't even have an idea at all. So then I have to start from scratch. I have to educate them on the platform. I have to show them what's available, and then the work will begin, you know? So which I don't mind. So then they also get to that stage where now they're also picky, you know, they don't like this, they don't want this. That's not a good function. That won't work for them. But for me, if a client's proposal is like oh my goodness, like so long, and there's just so many bullet points of like certain like so many bullet points of like particulars of things that they're like writing or they're saying in there. If I get exhausted reading that, I'm like, I know I have no time for this client.
I don't got time for that. I don't have time for that.
I'm like, I don't have time for this. I definitely don't have time for this, because I love the ones, actually, I do love the ones that don't know which platform they want their teams to be on. And like what I'm doing now is I'm actually going to develop like a training just to give to those clients that don't know what they want. So then they can just review all the platforms, and then they can just come back to me like, okay, like this works best for us or that works best for us. And then I would help them now set up their teams on those platforms.
Really smart. I like that. You're training the client. Yeah, that's really, really good. I'm trying to think, like, have I seen that on something? But that's people out to get clear. Because sometimes, just be honest, you have kind of sort of an idea, but it's still kind of fuzzy. It really hasn't kind of come clear. So having that service, that training for people to kind of get that and kind of get a little more clear. So I guess maybe the pickier clients are better, because maybe they are a little more structured as to, detail, what they want, but not like 500 bullet points,
No, yeah, please. No, please.
Anybody have time for that? No.
I don't.
Man, I can talk to you all day. I'm sure like everybody out there, when Akuwat posts this on her channel and everything for you guys to see this is very refreshing for me. Like, I'm actually awake, I'm alive, I feel really good. I'm happy that I talked to you. I'm so happy that we met on Suspreneurs, because there are platforms out there to connect people, and I just feel like you my sister from another mister. Okay, let's just get real. Like, you're just awesome, just a positive person, and you can feel the energy just coming through. You know what I'm saying? And I love that. I'm all about the positivity, all about helping people be better, because the world is so messed up and there's just so much drama, going on out there. You need a breath of fresh air. So you have been a breath of fresh air, okay?
Thank you.
Yes. And I know when people see this on my platform, Inspire for Purpose, they're gonna be like, yeah, she is a breath of fresh air. She sure is. Hopefully your people out there see that too. Be like, oh, that girl is too, but she's a little crazy. Okay, now.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. They're gonna say that for sure.
Good deal. Is there anything else out there you would like the listeners to know? I'm excited about this podcast. I'm excited to launch this one. I'm thinking this is going to be so amazing. We're talking about freelance, but we really kind of hit on a lot of personal things too, close to home, that people can, little nuggets that they can use and put in their life and put it into action. That's my thing about putting it into action. So that's good. Is there anything else for Akuwat Business Services Online? What you got for us?
I just want to encourage you all to start, and don't let little things stop you, just as when you're traveling down the road, and if there's a rock in the middle of the road, there's still an area to go around that rock. You can still get around that rock. Don't let little things stop you. You really can do it. And if you ever need help at all, even if it's not with freelancing, I don't know everything, but I can still help you. So do reach out to me at Akuwat Online on Instagram. And my website's coming up soon, but for now you can reach me through Instagram for sure and send me a DM. My email, I think, also is on Instagram. You can always send me an email as well. Any questions at all, any help at all that you need for anything, just do contact me.
That's right. Just do contact her. Okay. I don't care what you do. Just contact her, y'all. Call her. Do whatever you gotta do. I have loved it. This is awesome. I love the fact that you say start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. There's a lot of things that we don't know how to do, but I mean, like at the fingertips right now, we can go on and Google anything, to really get started, and just by talking to people, kind of, doing that whole deep dive and really having those conversations with family and friends. I learn a lot of things from my family members all the time. And I'm like, man, how come I never knew this? You know, we never sat down to have the conversation. You talked about understanding earlier in the show. So it's about getting an understanding. It's about having the dialogue, you know, to be able to talk and then being able to start somewhere, no matter where you're at. Hey, I have enjoyed this, guys. This has been totally amazing. You guys already heard Akuwat. She already put it out there, okay, how to get in contact with her. I'm your girl with Sandra the Actions. You know who I am, right? With Inspire for Purpose. And as I always say on my show, love and light and inspire for purpose. God bless. You're going to see everything linked on this page. You're going to see this on my channel. You're going to see this on her channel. This is how we do at Girls with Gigs. We support one another. So this podcast is not just mine. This is Akuwat's as well. You know what I'm saying? So we're supporting each other, lifting each other up, and helping us be the best we that we can be. All right. All right.